Lake Tahoe, America's premier alpine lake. Sitting more than 6,200 feet above sea level, this lake has been a sanctuary for people looking to escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life for over 170 years. But is that still possible?
Warning tonight if you're thinking of making a trip to South Lake Tahoe.
I mean, I can't go to my own beaches anymore. I cannot go to Sand Harbor where I grew up unless I get in line at 7 in the morning.
In a time when talk of burnout from everyday life is common, Tahoe has become a magnet for people looking to swim in its crystal clear waters or ski the mountains surrounding it. But has Tahoe's popularity caught up with it? To find out whether Lake Tahoe could still offer a respite from our busy lives, Mary and I devised a plan. We packed our bags and drove 10 hours to visit this world-famous lake. But unlike everyone else, we decided to visit when the campsites were closed down, the clear water was frigid, and the ski slopes were still a twinkle in the eye. We wanted to find out, is Tahoe still the place to recharge your batteries from the stress of everyday life? Is it worth visiting in the off-season? Or are we better off not coming at all? To find out whether it's still worth visiting Tahoe, we started by taking a look at how people visited in the past. Around 100 years ago, Laura Knight came to this spot, inspired by Scandinavia and her travels there. She wanted to build a compound here for her summer stays, where her family could gather, they could play by the lake, and enjoy the beautiful scenery. It was built in 1929 when 200 men laid the stones for this amazing building. We might not be able to relate to building a mansion on the lake, but the goal was the same. Come to Tahoe to get away from your routine life and rediscover play. I've never seen anything like this, honestly. It feels like Thor is gonna come out of this house and greet me. Like the Knight family, we hoped Tahoe would help us tap into our inner child, something Laura did in her own posh way. She also had that island over there, Finette Island, and on top of it was a structure that was her tea house. So you can imagine taking your guests from Viking's home on a little boat to your island to have the afternoon tea. The history of this Viking house reminds me of how Tahoe has progressed through time. Early on, when it was very difficult to get here, you had wealthy folks building big houses on the relatively open and empty lake. And then through time, with the advent of the automobile, more and more people came to camp. The outdoors was more accessible to the common person. And similarly, Viking's home in the 1950s was sold to the state so that everyone can come. But we came to Tahoe when most tourists were settled into their fall routines, hours away. In the summer, this parking lot is so packed that people actually drive down the road over there and try and park on the side of the road. Maybe there was a good reason no one was here, but we were too stubborn to stay away from the lake. This spontaneous act of discomfort was refreshing, and it made us think about why as adults we stopped playing like this.
We get accustomed to comfort and we start to think we know what we like. Why would I go jump in a super cold lake when I could just go get brunch with my friends? But kids, they don't think like that. They think about all these things that they haven't done.
But what Mary didn't know was that I had put a plan in motion to do something way outside our comfort zone. But in the meantime, we just explored on a whim and made our own fun. Like kids, we got on our bikes and wandered around the lake without any destination in mind. We even made a friend.
Well, hello there.
Actually, we made a couple.
Look at this coyote. Casual. What's up, bro?
Some of our friends were safer to pet than others.
This is Peanut.
This is Willie, right, Willie? Willie's a little shy.
Spending time with Peanut and Willie and getting a free stay in Tahoe through our pet sitting membership was a win-win.
We're so lucky to be able to play with them while we're here in Tahoe enjoying the outdoors.
It's funny how much easier it is to play with dogs than with other adults. It wasn't this way when we were kids on the playground. We weren't worried about how we'd look or whether in the heat of the moment we'd slip up somehow. As adults, we tend to only play in ways that are socially acceptable. And Tahoe's unique geography can help you with that too. There's also the Nevada side. If gambling and debauchery is more your speed, you can come here and get a whole fix of it. Also, sometimes famous comedians and bands come through. It's not a bad place to go to see a show. Sort of a different vibe to the California side. And there's this famous resort here called the Cal Neva Resort. The movie Bad Times at the El Royale was based on this hotel here, where literally the pool and the hotel is divided by the state lines. So there you go, California. Here you got Nevada. This hotel closed temporarily a couple of years ago. Now it's being renovated. But for now, there's a great cross-border hike right around the corner that I'll drop in the description. On the California side of the border, there are towns with history dating back to the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. We stopped in Truckee to see if it was worth visiting when it was recovering from the high season. The town was quiet, with residents milling about, and we were able to chat with store owners and not feel rushed. Mary found some California mountain chic accessories. Look at her, she has no idea what's coming. My plans were coming to fruition, and soon she would face her test. I also found a store dog in town. Don't worry, Peanut, you're still my dog. I was just being polite. What makes this town cool is you can still visit Truckee by rail from San Francisco or one of the western states. You can even keep your carless streak alive by biking from the train station. We met up with my brother and his girlfriend to bike along the Truckee River to the lakeside town of Tahoe City, starting at the site of the 1960 Olympic Winter Games in Squaw Valley. It was freezing that day, but there was something about the empty bike path and the steam rising from the river that made it even more special than a bright summer day. In the summer, hundreds of visitors float down the river on tubes, but biking in utter silence makes it really feel like you're in the wilderness. For those fond of biking, the bike lanes continue around the lake, and they're often fully separated from the road, making it more pleasant for bikers and drivers alike. We mimicked the relaxed pace of Tahoe in the off-season as we returned to our house sit to warm up and enjoy each other's company. Our previous discoveries in the area were now evolving into lighthearted passions and learning experiences. While I ground spices for chai, Mary made her signature chocolate pecan pie, and Key and I did cat things. After playing outside together and bonding, we sat down for a feast and indulged. But don't think that we just stayed in our comfort zone the whole time we were in Tahoe. At least Mary didn't. Here she is after I revealed my secret plan to her.
Mary, what do you think about parasailing?
I'm not excited.
Don't you want to play and be adventurous?
No, I don't. But I don't want fear making decisions for me. At least for right now.
Those of you who watched our hiking tour through 3 European countries know that Mary has a fear of heights, and she's been bravely conquering this fear through exposure. So when deciding how high up we should be, I went big.
I'm just wondering, why you got the 1,000 feet?
Full gift certificate amount includes the 1,000 feet. I figure if we're gonna see Tahoe from above, we might as well be high, right?
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw the flat rims and mustache, I was like,
We were second in line on the parasailing boat, so while we wait, let's recap why we set out to Tahoe. Is it still worth visiting, especially in the off-season? We wanted to get away from everyday life, not only geographically, but like generations of visitors, we were looking to shift our mentality. In that way, Tahoe hit it out of the park, especially during the off-season. We reconnected with a sense of play that seems to go missing when you enter adulthood. I even showed Mary how I spent most of my childhood playing, and in the end, we even tried new things that are a bit scary.
Let's go! Let's go! Woo! How are we doing? How are we doing?
Deep breathing.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great. Look at us. High above Lake Tahoe. Oh my God. Wow. It is.
Keep Tahoe blue.